Have you ever done something you immediately regretted? A 40-year-old man from Hungary is lucky to be alive after clinging to the side of a bullet train for 20 minutes. It was zipping through Germany last week and had a scheduled stop between Munich and Nuremberg. And the guy stepped off the train to smoke a quick cigarette and didn't get back on before the doors closed. Well, he saw the train leaving, so he decided he'd jump onto the bracket connecting two of the train cars and just held on for dear life as the bullet train hit 175 miles an hour. Someone saw him, and officials stopped the train, and he said he did it because his luggage was on board and he didn't want to be separated from his luggage. Now he's facing charges for an act disruptive to operations, and he also didn't have a ticket, so he boarded illegally in more ways than one. Getting burned by coffee is bad enough. This would be more like napalm. Delicious, delicious napalm. A restaurant chain in Texas got sued after their barbecue sauce caused serious burns to a woman's leg. Bill Miller Barbecue has around 80 locations, and this lady ordered 4 of their breakfast tacos and a side of barbecue sauce, and they handed her to her in a paper bag, right? No big deal. But then she pulled over in the parking lot to eat her tacos with barbecue sauce for breakfast. And the container was so hot, she dropped it and spilled the sauce all over her right thigh, causing second-degree burns. Her lawyers said the safety guidelines say it's 135 degrees to serve it. They served it at 189 degrees. That happened in 2023, but the jury just weighed in, calling the restaurant 100% negligent and awarded her $2.8 million in damages. That's a lot of breakfast tacos. You know, just hearing this might make you need to go to the bathroom. When someone says they need to use the bathroom, does it ever make you have to go too? A new study on contagious urination found that you can thank evolution for that urge to go. Researchers in Japan noticed chimpanzees do it too. They watched 20 chimps for more than 600 hours at a zoo in Japan and tracked how often they peed within 60 seconds of each other. And you thought your job sucked. Well, it turned out it happened a lot, and social rank made a difference too. There's even more likely to follow suit after a dominant chip in the group took a leak. Their two main theories are all the collective urine might help keep predators away, or it could just be a bonding thing. They're compared it to how people, especially women, sometimes go to the bathroom together. They think chimps might do it for the same reason, to promote social bonding. Do you toss and turn trying to fall asleep? 1% of Americans don't even have time to. Someone polled 8,000 adults and asked, how long does it typically take for you to fall asleep? The most common answer was up to 10 minutes, and up to 20 was a close second. Just over half the country falls into one of those two groups. But 1% of people said they usually fall asleep in under 60 seconds. So they're either very lucky or they're narcoleptics. 6% said it normally takes over an hour to fall asleep. And phones could be partly to blame. You're supposed to avoid screens at least an hour before bed, but almost no one's doing that. Only around 1 in 7 people said yes. Around a third of us don't stop staring at our phone or TV until 10 minutes before bed, and 4% said 0 minutes. Have you ever fallen asleep while scrolling through TikTok and dropped your phone on your face? No? Is it just me? Can I get a Gen Z boss, please? Because it sounds like their standards are pretty low. Someone asked 2,000 employees under 35 to name the work rules that they're willing to break, and at least 10% said yes to all of these. Ducking out of work early, 34% admit they sometimes do it, yeah. Calling in sick just because you want a day off, 27% admit to it. You'd expect that one to be a little bit higher, huh? Showing up late, 18% admit to that. Quiet quitting, it seems to be a big trend. Using AI to complete tasks, 14% agree. Taking naps when working from home, yeah, 11% say they've done that. Claiming you've worked more hours than you really did, 11% say that that's happened before. And using company tools or software for other freelance work or personal reasons. Just a few of the top work rules Gen Z is willing to break. First, we get the return of President Trump, and now this. Duck Dynasty is making a comeback. That's right, Duck Dynasty, The Revival, will debut on A&E sometime this summer. It's going to be focusing on Willie and Corey Robertson and their kids as they plot the future of the Duck Commander business. Kay and Uncle Si will be back too, but Phil Robertson is not listed among the cast. He's been battling Alzheimer's disease and is reportedly in poor health. The original Duck Dynasty aired its last episode on March of 2017, almost 8 years ago, after 11 seasons. Willie and Corey said, quote, "Going back on A&E feels like going back home." Duck Dynasty making its triumphant return here this summer. Well, Elon Musk is denying that the gestures he made to Trump fans on Monday night were Nazi salutes. And when someone tweeted that it was just part of the left's dirty tricks campaign, Musk replied, quote, "Frankly, they need better dirty tricks. The everyone is Hitler attack is so tired." He also retweeted a post showing Democrats Kamala Harris, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Elizabeth Warren appearing to make the same gesture. Now, it should be noted, however, that these are still pictures, right? So it's not clear if they gave a full Nazi salute. They could just be waving. But it should also be noted that the Anti-Defamation League, a Jewish rights group, doesn't think that Elon was heiling Hitler or anything. They said, quote, "It seems that Musk made an awkward gesture in a moment of enthusiasm, not a Nazi salute. But again, we appreciate that people are on edge." Well, if your New Year's resolution was to get back on the dating scene, here's an interesting hypothetical for you. Someone posed this question to straight men online, and it is, if you walk into a room with 1,000 single women all around your age, how many of them would you think are attracted to you? 42% did not have high hopes and said between 1 and 25 of the women. 24% say a little bit higher, so between 26 and 74 of those women would think you are all right. 10% said a notch above that. Between 75 and 99 of the women would say you were attractive. 15% say they'd turn heads. 100 to 200 of the women in the room would probably be attracted to him, which is 10 to 20%. And 14% of the guys said they'd be fawned over, with more than 200 of the 1,000 women attracted to them. Now, in the comments, one person said, "If I walked in right now, total 0. But if I had a chance to shave and dress up a little bit, maybe 5. Well, here's a snack hack for people with young kids. A new study found they'll eat more vegetables if they think it gives them superpowers. Now, researchers in Germany spent 20 minutes reading kids' fairy tales that involved magical fruits and vegetables. The hero was either healed or saved by these fruits or vegetables, and then after the story was done, they offered the kids a choice with 4 different snacks. They had fruit, vegetables, cake, or cookies. It turned out it made them more likely to choose the healthier option. And not just after they heard the story. It had a lasting effect, too. 80% of the kids are still eating more fruits and vegetables weeks later. Looking back on this, all I can think of is I probably would have never have discovered spinach if it wasn't for Popeye the Sailor Man. Egg prices are one thing, but when they mess with our streaming costs, that's when things get wild, all right? The price of Netflix is going up for the first time since October of 2023. Now, Netflix says, quote, "As we continue to invest in programming and deliver more value for our members, we will occasionally ask our members to pay a little more so that we can reinvest to further improve Netflix." Now, it's not clear when the prices will go up, but it's worth noting that Netflix also announced its biggest ever jump in subscribers and a quarterly revenue that reached $10 billion for the first time in its history. But yeah, they need $2 more from you. Also, do they deserve more money after the debacle that was the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight? I think not. They actually had the gall to say that it was one of the reasons they've been so successful lately, without mentioning the fact that it was a complete cluster. Well, you know. But Netflix, brace yourself, it's getting more expensive again. Post Malone teamed up with Oreo and created his very own cookie, and it features the first ever twisted cream center. The cream is salted caramel and shortbread, and it's sandwiched between the typical chocolate cookie on one side and a golden cookie on the other. Each cookie will have one of 9 embossed designs that includes nods to all of his music, like a sunflower, a knight, a saw blade, a pickup truck, and a butterfly. Posty says, quote, "I really wanted to create a flavor that shows off my different sides. That was important to me. We tried like 50 different combinations. I've been really into salted caramel lately, so I knew I had to be part of it. The shortbread balanced out the flavor and made the perfect twist. The twist is by far my favorite part. When I couldn't decide between classic chocolate and a golden cookie, we said, why not do both? That was a fun day at work." They'll be available for pre-sale at Oreo.com on Monday, and will start hitting shelves on February 3rd. Are you more likely to be an actor if you're an extrovert, or a salesperson if you're neurotic, or maybe a real estate agent if you're annoying? Or do those traits help you be successful in any given field? A new study looked into what your job says about your psychological health, and it found clear correlations between a person's profession and their genetic predisposition to several psychiatric traits and disorders like ADHD or autism or depression or schizophrenia, right? They collected data from more than 400,000 Americans and British workers over 20 different professional fields. And here's a sample of what they found. STEM professionals, the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics pros, they're most likely to be on the autism spectrum. Schizophrenia is most prevalent in a community and social worker environment. Anorexia shows up most frequently in teachers and educators. Jobs most associated with ADHD tend to require the least amount of education. I could save a ton of money on my therapy bills. That explains a lot. Spirit Airlines is classing things up a little bit. They just announced that you can't wear see-through clothing anymore. Yeah, you could get kicked off your next flight. That means no more sheer tops without a bra. You can leave the clear plastic pants at home. Don't even think about wearing your full fishnet bodysuit that I know you like to wear when you travel. They updated their fine print this week to ban things that could be seen as lewd, obscene, or offensive in nature. That includes see-through clothing, tops that don't offer adequate coverage, and pants or skirts that expose your butt or your other no-no areas. Their policy also covers lewd or offensive body art, so certain tattoos could get you kicked off the flight too. Yeah, Spirit Airlines no longer allowing see-through clothing. You're ruining it for everybody. First, there were wedding photographers, then videographers. But did you know there's also a third option? A site called Wed Society asked thousands of vendors across the U.S. to predict the top wedding trends of 2025. And wedding content creator comes in at number one. Yeah, according to the press release, they capture real-time, authentic, highly engaging social media style content. And they're usually hired in addition to photographers and videographers. So your dad is going to love paying for that, right? Their top wedding trends to look out for this year are wedding content creator at number one, followed by small wedding parties, just a few bridesmaids and groomsmen, not 20 people, you know. Film style photography is going to be a big one in 2025. Mismatched bridesmaid dresses, big trend. Ooh, drone footage. So you might be hiring a wedding photographer, a videographer, a content creator, and a separate drone operator. Yay! Sounds cheap, doesn't it?